Let's get right into it. Number 10. The art of not getting ripped off. Most people think prices are fixed, like the number on the tag is law. It's not. It's a very optimistic suggestion made by someone who wants your money. Everything is negotiable. Your salary, your rent, your cable bill. The reason most people never negotiate is simple. They're embarrassed. They'd rather pay an extra $200 than have a slightly awkward conversation, which is a great deal for the other person. First, do your homework before you open your mouth. Information is the only weapon that actually works. Walking in without it is like showing up to a knife fight with a strongly worded letter. Second, learn to be comfortable with silence. After you make an offer, stop talking. Most people panic in silence and start filling it with concessions. Make your number, then shut up. Let them be uncomfortable. That discomfort is doing your negotiating for you. Third, always be willing to walk away. Not as a bluff, actually be willing to walk away. The second you need something too badly, you've already lost. Fourth, bundle your asks. Instead of negotiating one thing at a time, stack them. If I pay cash today, can you throw in free delivery and drop the price 10%? Giving someone 3 things to say yes to feels like a deal, not a battle. Every year you don't negotiate your salary costs you thousands. One uncomfortable conversation compounds for decades. Number 9. Basic legal literacy. You have signed contracts your entire life, your phone plan, your lease, your job offer, and most people sign them like app terms and conditions. They scroll to the bottom and hit accept. Then a company raises your fee without asking. That's not bad luck. That's not knowing what you agreed to. When you get a contract, do 4 things before you sign. Search for renew. The auto-renewal clause says your contract automatically renews unless you cancel 30 days before the end date. Miss that window by 1 day, and you're locked in for another year. Add the deadline to your calendar. Search for arbitration and decide if you're okay with giving up your right to sue in court. Search for indemnify and make sure you aren't taking on someone else's legal problems. It basically says, if anything goes wrong, you're financially responsible, not the company. Search for entire agreement. It means anything your boss, landlord, or salesperson told you verbally does not count legally. Everything promised must be written down. 4 searches, 10 minutes, no law degree needed. The moment you say, I noticed the arbitration clause, can we discuss that? The dynamic changes. You're the person who reads contracts, and people who read contracts get better deals. A weekend learning what to look for can easily save you thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Number 8. AI prompt crafting. AI is not a search engine. It's more like a contractor. If you tell a contractor, build me something nice, you're getting whatever they feel like building. People who know how to prompt well are getting full business plans and scripts in 3 minutes. People who do not are getting digital soup. A good prompt has 4 things. Number 1. A role. Tell the AI who to be. Start with, you are a financial advisor. Quality jumps immediately. Number 2. A task. Be specific, not write me an email. Instead, write a short email asking a client for a testimonial without sounding desperate. Number 3. Context. Tell the AI who this is for, what the goal is, and the desired tone. More context means less generic output. Number 4. A format. Bullet points. A numbered list. A table. If you do not specify, you get a 5-paragraph essay that reads like a Wikipedia article. Here's one trick almost nobody uses. At the end of your prompt, add, ask me any clarifying questions before you start. That one sentence alone doubles the quality of your results, because now the AI is gathering information before it starts guessing. It's the difference between a doctor who examines you and a doctor who just hands you pills at the door. Number 7. Keeping people alive for a little longer. Someone collapses in front of you. Most people stand there, mouth open, not because they're bad people, but because nobody taught them what to do. When a heart stops, the brain starts dying in 4 minutes. Average ambulances take 8 to 12. Bystander CPR can double or triple survival chances. The core of CPR is pushing the chest really hard and really fast, 100 to 120 pushes per minute, the exact beat of Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees. Push hard enough to compress the chest 2 inches. You might hear ribs crack. Cracked ribs heal. Dead doesn't. If someone is choking, do the Heimlich. Stand behind them, make a fist above the belly button, and thrust inward and upward hard, like launching food into orbit. For bleeding, people panic. The fix is embarrassingly simple. Press on it, hard. Don't lift the cloth to check if it's bleeding. It is. Keep pressing. Pressure is the answer. Finally, the AED, that yellow box on walls in airports. It talks you through everything step by step. Knowing how to turn it on before the emergency happens prevents 90 seconds of fumbling. You learn it once, you keep it forever, and you might change the outcome of an emergency. Number 6. Basic SQL. Most people stare at a spreadsheet and think that's as deep as data gets. Behind almost every app and business dashboard, there's a database. SQL is how you talk to it. Companies are drowning in data, and most employees wait for IT to pull reports for them. If you know SQL, you don't wait, you just ask. The basic command is select. Select star from customers. That pulls every single row from the customers table. Star means give me everything. Want only customers in Texas? Add where. Select star from customers where, state, Texas. You just filtered a database in one line. To find your top 10 biggest orders, select star from orders. Order by amount DESC. Limit 10. Descending means biggest first. Limit 10 means stop after 10 rows. You just ranked data without a single spreadsheet formula. Databases split info across multiple tables. A join connects them. You can match a customer's name to their order history across millions of rows instantly. Learn the basics over a weekend using free tools like SQLite Online. By Sunday, you can write select, where, order by, group by, and join. That's 80% of real-world SQL use. The gap between people who can ask questions of data and people who can't shows up directly in their salary. Number 5. Not poisoning yourself. Most people survive on takeout and microwaved meals. Learning to cook 3 basic meals takes 1 weekend and saves you massive amounts of money and doctor visits. Scrambled eggs are the hello world of cooking. The trick is low heat. You aren't trying to punish the eggs. Medium-low heat, a little butter, stir slowly. Done in 4 minutes. For a fried egg, slightly higher heat, and don't touch it. The white sets, the yolk stays runny. Next is pasta. Salt your water aggressively until it tastes like the ocean. That's where the flavor comes from. Boil the pasta. Make a simple sauce from canned tomatoes, garlic, and olive oil. Total cost per serving is about $1.50. 20 minutes total. The third meal is stir fry. The key is a screaming hot pan. Add oil, add your protein, and don't move it for 2 minutes so it gets a crust. Add vegetables, soy sauce, and sesame oil. Heat plus fat plus protein plus seasoning equals food. Understand this, and you stop ordering $30 deliveries that arrive cold. The average person spends $3,000 a year eating out. Cooking half your meals saves $15,000 over a decade, all from a skill you picked up in a weekend. Number 4. Organizing your descent into madness. A spreadsheet is just a grid that turns your chaotic life into something you can actually look at. And looking at your chaos is the first step to fixing it. If you're trying to lose weight, you could guess how it's going. Or you could open a free spreadsheet, log your weight every Monday, and watch the graph trend downward. Now you have data instead of feelings. Feelings tell you, I've been pretty good this week. Data tells you you ate pizza 4 times. Google Sheets is completely free. The basics take 2 hours. Learn how to type numbers, add them up with a formula, and make a chart. A guy named Ben tracked every social media minute he spent for 30 days. The spreadsheet revealed 47 hours of scrolling, a full work week watching strangers argue. He didn't need a therapist, the spreadsheet told him for free, with a very sad pie chart. Your brain lies to you. It tells you your spending is fine. It tells you you barely check your phone. A spreadsheet cannot lie. It just sits there, full of numbers, judging you. Track your job applications, monitor your sleep, or map your subscriptions. Spend Saturday learning, and by Monday, you have an evidence collection system for your life forever. Number 3. How to remember names. You meet someone new. They tell you their name. 3 seconds later, it's gone. That's a brain problem. When someone says their name, your brain treats it like spam mail. It skims and deletes it because it doesn't know if this person matters yet. You have to trick your brain into caring. The second someone says their name, say it back immediately. Nice to meet you, Marcus. Drop it naturally into your response. This forces your brain to process the name and tag it as worth keeping, but repeating isn't enough. Names are abstract, and your brain is terrible at abstract concepts, but it's incredible at pictures. So turn the name into a weird picture. If someone is named Marcus, picture a giant marker on their forehead. Someone named Sandy? Sand pouring out of her ears. The weirder the image, the harder your brain grips it. Think of your brain like Velcro. Boring information slides off the smooth side. Vivid images stick to the rough side. The final step most ignore. Use the name before walking away. Great talking to you, Marcus. That's hitting save before closing a document. Repeat it. Picture it. Use it. Because in a world where everyone forgets everyone's name 30 seconds in, remembering someone's name is basically a superpower. Number 2. Typing like you have a purpose. Most people type the way they learned by accident. 2 fingers, eyes glued to the keyboard, hunting for the letter Q like it owes them money. The average person types 40 words per minute. A touch typist does 80. That's double. Think about how much you type. Emails, messages, search bars. The average office worker types for roughly 2 hours a day. If you doubled your speed, you would save about 20 full days over your career. 20 straight days of your life back, waiting for you to stop looking at your keyboard. Touch typing means your fingers know where every key is without looking. Your brain stops thinking about the keyboard entirely and frees up for actual thinking, like driving a car without staring at the gear shift. The system is built around the home row. Left fingers rest on A, S, D, F. Right fingers rest on J, K, L, and semicolon. Every other key is a short reach away. Spend one weekend on a free site like Keyber or Typing Club. You'll be painfully slow at first, push through that awkward phase, and within 3 weeks you're back to your old speed. Then you keep getting faster forever, no ceiling. Every single day after that you get paid back in time. Number 1. Manipulating reality, one cut at a time. Video editing isn't about recording reality. It's about building a better one. You could film yourself eating cereal, which is boring, but add a dramatic music sting, a slow-motion pour, and a quick zoom. Suddenly you look like a serial scientist doing important work. You can learn the basics in a single weekend. Free software like DaVinci Resolve or CapCut, a laptop, and 48 hours of mild frustration will get you started. The first thing you learn is the cut. A cut removes the boring parts. That pause where you forgot your point? Gone. That 7-second gap staring at the ceiling? Gone. The second thing is pacing. Fast cuts create energy. Slow cuts create emotion. Beginners use zero cuts and accidentally create documentaries about nothing. Then you learn music. Music does something almost illegal to the human brain. The exact same footage of a guy walking to his car feels completely different depending on the soundtrack. Upbeat pop, living his best life, heavy metal, going to war with the parking lot. Every business needs video content right now. If you can cut out awkward silences and add a decent song, you're better than 80% of what's out there. The illusion breaks. And once you see how the trick is done, you can do it yourself. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.